Today we're diving into something that affects all of us, climate change. To understand what's happening, let's start with how Earth's natural heating system works, something called the greenhouse effect. Think of Earth like it's wrapped in a giant blanket. The sun produces energy that heats up the air, the land, and the ocean. Now, most of the energy escapes and makes it back into the atmosphere, but the greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane trap some of the heat and keep Earth warm. Without this heat blanket, Earth would actually be too cold for us to survive. But when the blanket gets too thick from the amount of greenhouse gases being produced from like factories and burning fossil fuels, that's when the problems start, because the Earth begins to warm up drastically because of how thick the blanket has got, leading the gases to be trapped in and the temperature rising. Scientists agree that humans are the reason why the blanket keeps getting thicker and wider every day for many reasons. Every time we power our car or burn more fuel, that equals more fossil fuels being used, which means more greenhouse gases being put into our atmosphere. Over the past century, these gases have shot up to record levels. At the same time, Earth's average temperature has risen up 2 degrees Fahrenheit. This has caused scientists to see more ice melting, the ocean levels rising, and seeing more dangerous storms and more severely dangerous weather events.
Not everyone believes humans are the main reason for climate change. Some people argue that Earth's climate has always changed on its own. For example, the sun sometimes gives off more or less heat. Oceans shift and currents change. Volcanic eruptions can send gases and particles into the air that also affects the planet's temperature. After much research, I believe humans are the biggest driver of today's rapid climate change. The huge rise in carbon dioxide and methane lines up directly with when humans started burning fossil fuels during the Industrial Revolution. It's true that natural factors like the sun and volcanoes affect climate, but they don't explain the speed or the magnitude of the warming we're seeing today. They affect things like nature and plants, animals, and they affect humans at an alarming rate. They built up trapped gases and keep them in our atmosphere. Some effects of climate change are rising temperatures, rising sea levels, unpredictable weather patterns, more extreme weather events, land degradation, and loss of wildlife and biodiversity. The fast increase in temperatures and greenhouse gases is something that we've never seen in Earth's natural history without human influence. That's why I think human activity is the clearest explanation for global warming today. Things like rapid industrialization, energy use, agricultural practices, deforestation, consumer practice, livestock, transportation, resource extraction, and pollution all cause gases to be built up in our atmosphere. They cause the Earth to be a worse place for all life and all biodiversity, and overall really just hurt us as a whole. The good news is, if we're part of the problem, we can also be part of the solution. We can switch from fossil fuels to cleaner energy sources like wind power, solar power, and hydropower. We can drive electric cars, ride bikes, or use public transportation to cut down on emissions. We can also do things like save energy at home, more carefully consider our travel options, change to solar panels, reduce, reuse, and recycle, invest in and eat more cleaner food sources like vegetables, switch to electric, throw away less food, trash, and waste less stuff, and most importantly, speak up and make a change.